Israel's settlement expansion this year, which has been the largest land seizures in decades, condemned globally as a violation of international law. Now, how do these land grabs undermine international law, and what consequences could Israel face from global bodies or courts?
The behavior of Israel is a threat to international law as a standard governing the relationship and the relations worldwide. After World War II, at least if we take the last stage of the development of international law, if we take the development of the international relations and the creation of the United Nations, we will see that the United Nations has been created on the assumption that international law is the governing law of the behavings of states with what it's containing as forbidden acts and what is assumed as acts allowed to be taken by states. And this corpus of law is the standard to which all nations are referring as the customary law, the conventional law, the treaty law, in fact, as the international rules that they are governing the relationship between nations and between people. And by not obeying to the law, by breaching the law in a continuous way, by having this feeling of impunity, and by sending a message that they can break the law without any sanctions, and that no sanction could be taken against Israel and against its leaders, it's a very strong message which could jeopardize the relationship and the relations worldwide. It's not a matter of Israel only. It's a matter of the peace in the world and how we are going to govern the world. The pressure that they have been exercised on the International Criminal Court, declared by its prosecutor himself, saying that he has been subject to continuous pressure from Israel and some of its allies. And is an interference which nobody can accept and no nation can accept. When we see all these horror in Gaza, in south of Lebanon, in other places, and we see that there is no sanction taken, when we see that the decisions of the International Court of Justice, even the provisional decisions are ignored.
Well, Mr. Majid, you're raising a very important point here. Now, the Gaza war resulted in over 45,000 Palestinian deaths and also widespread destruction. Human rights organizations have condemned Israel's actions as disproportionate and deliberate, targeting civilians. In light of the ICC, since you mentioned the ICC, the International Court of Justice, in light of its arrest warrants, will those be responsible face justice?
Yes, in the long term, they have to face these prosecutions and they have to face these arrest warrants. For the time being, if we take the scale to see why the conscience in the world of the young people, especially of a lot of people around the world, has changed and now are very sensitive and sensible to what happened in Gaza. It's not because they are supporting for political reasons the Palestinians.
This is their human reasons. It raised their human aspects. Yes,
true. It's because it's hurting the deep feeling of the conscience of humanity, of what we call the civilized nations. True. And this is what the leaders in Israel are doing now, is again the real interests of Israel. And Israel had the right to exist, and when people now around the world are not challenging the existence of Israel, and people are supporting the existence of Israel, but they support the existence of Israel as a state who will behave according to international law. The fact that Israel is not obeying to international law and they are ignoring what are the rules, and they're ignoring the decisions of International Court of Justice, for instance. This is another breach of international law, which make the first breach worse. And also the other point is that the country that they are supporting, Israel, in escaping from sanctions of the international Court of justice, is also a breach of international law. And here, all these countries, like the United States, like the European countries,
Yes, I
and
get
they
your
are
point, sir. Unfortunately, our time is up, but I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Majid Bouden, international law expert, for your detailed legal and diplomatic insights. Thank you so much, sir.